If we don't have our health, we can't fully show up as all that we're created to be. If, and that's on the holistic health side, we're talking about creating a business. If it's all about expanding. It's all about elevating to the next level, really tapping into our true potential. And I'm super clear that that's what I'm here to assist with. So I'm super excited about that. Well, hello there, and welcome back to another episode of the Sharice Williams Show, the only podcast created for the highly conscious nurse-turned-entrepreneur looking to create, launch, and scale a wildly profitable holistic health coaching and consulting business from a place of ease and flow, while also optimizing your wellness and vitality naturally. So I'm so excited to be here with you today. Why? Because this is the last week of 2023. Can you believe it? Oh my God, 2023 is about to be a wrap. And so today I wanted this episode to be titled Reflect, Reassess, Refine, and Realign. And I will tell you, this will be a relatively short episode as we do bring 2023 to an end. And my intention for this episode is one of reflection and realignment. It's so easy, to get caught up in the wave, the momentum, and all the successes, throughout the year, all the successes that have occurred throughout the year. And I always say this, momentum is a mother, right? I mean, once momentum starts, it just kind of takes over, which is a beautiful thing, beautiful, beautiful thing. And I'm so, so, so grateful. But I will share with you sometimes when you are kind of caught up in the momentum, sometimes there's not a lot of space there to reassess, right? Reassess and maintain alignment. And so talking about reflection, right? Reflecting on this year, I've noticed that. I noticed that for myself. And so this episode is just as much for me as it is for you. But I'll just share with you, as the end of the year started to come to an end, I would say even this last quarter, since October, really, I found that when I would look at my calendar, I started to feel a little constriction. Constriction is not really a feeling that I like to feel. It's an indicator to me that something is out of alignment. Now, again, the year has been phenomenal. It's been amazing, beautiful growth for my clients, beautiful experiences, that type of thing. However, when I look at my calendar and I start to feel constriction, I know that there is something that needs to shift with me. Okay. And so this year, again, over these next couple of days, as we bring the year, I should have brought it in here. I have this it's actually called a big ass calendar. That's the name of it. Big ass calendar. It is a huge poster board. It has 365 days, 365 boxes on there, and where you can plan out the whole 2024, which I'm really excited about. So what I'm going to do over the next few days of this year is really take time, be intentional, put on there just experiences that I want to experience, places that I want to travel to, things that I want to make sure that I do. Many of you know that I'm actually training for a 5K right now. So I want to actually go ahead and plan out the 5Ks, all the 5Ks for 2023, put them on my calendar so I have a plan, right, for the entire year. But then also put in things for, retreats and client experiences and program launch dates and all those things. So I'm really excited about this big ass calendar, which is literally the official name. And keeping in mind to infuse more spaciousness. Most of you guys know who've been following me for a while, that fun is actually one of my core values, fun. And so whenever I feel like I'm not having enough fun, then it starts to feel a bit constricted, right? And so as I'm filling out my big ass calendar, making sure that I infuse lots of spaciousness, because for me and for many of us, most of us are very multi-passionate women, number one, multi-passionate nurses, multi-passionate entrepreneurs. And as such, we want to do a lot of things, right? And so what's required oftentimes is the space to be able to create and develop out those things. And so again, reflecting back on my last quarter, I realized I'm like, oh, there's not a whole lot of spaciousness here. And I don't feel like I'm able to be as creative as I would like to be. So that said, making sure that I'm infusing more spaciousness into my calendar. And I invite you to do the same. I invite you to look at, what are your core values and how can I infuse more of my core values into this next upcoming year? In addition to spaciousness, for me, more play, right? My thing is, how do I make everything fun? How do I infuse more fun and more play into everything that I'm doing? Because if I'm having fun, it actually doesn't even feel like work. I love the work that I do. And part of the reason why I love the work that I do is because I can have fun with it. Business doesn't have to be serious. I mean, it's serious, but you can have as much fun as you want to in it. And so that's a priority to me. And in being intentional about infusing more transformation, not just for myself, but for my clients. This is one thing that you'll learn as you start your business and as you continue to build out your business. You're always going to be in a constant state of refinement, right? You're always going to be refining your offers, your programs, how you deliver, client experiences. And so one thing that I have come to realize is for this upcoming year, I definitely will be incorporating more in-person learning for my clients, right? Those of you who've been with me for a while know that I've been talking about retreats since 2019. And I've held one in-person event, and that was at the very beginning of 2021. And so now, again, realigning, right? Refining my offers, realigning with what's most important to me. I love retreats. I love the power of retreats, the transformation that takes place inside the room, wherever the room is, like in person. Yes, you can have a beautiful transformation experience and learnings, via Zoom or whatever, the online. But there is something to be said about the power of being in person. It's unexplainable and it's unachievable unless you're in the room. And so this year, 2024, there'll be more retreats. There'll be retreats infused into my client delivery, which I'm very, 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 very excited about. Super excited about. In addition to that, there are going to be some changes with the podcast. Not like major significant changes, but I would say more depth in the podcast, more inclusions in this podcast, because there's tons of business podcasts out there, business development podcasts out there, which is great. And they're beautiful. I think this year with this podcast, it was business development. It was some mindset stuff, but this is the year 2024 just to totally be transparent about the journey and the progression of this podcast is I think the theme that keeps coming up is going deeper, just going deeper, because the reality of it is you aren't the same person that you were a year ago. Neither am I. You're not in the same place emotionally as you were a year ago. Neither am I. You're not in the same place intellectually that you were a year ago. Neither am I. You're not in the same place financially as you were a year ago. All the things, like we've all shifted and transformed over these last 12 months. And thus the transformation of this podcast. So I'm really excited to share with you some extra things that will be covered in this podcast, because as your entrepreneurial journey, what you will find is there are lots of entrepreneurship in and of itself is a whole other ball game. It's a fun ball game, but it's a ball game nonetheless. And what I found is in a lot of podcasts, business podcasts specifically, it's just business focused. And there's lots of topics, there's lots of things that we encounter as entrepreneurs, not just new entrepreneurs, but even as seasoned entrepreneurs. Because I've been an entrepreneur for 18 years. And there are certain topics that I think aren't really broached or aren't really talked about a lot. And I want to talk about those things. So things such as, navigating those secret thoughts. We all have those thoughts. Not many people talk about them, but how do you navigate those thoughts? Maybe those not necessarily, and maybe they're disempowering thoughts. How do you navigate those thoughts as you're building your business, as you're scaling your business? Because guess what? They're there and they'll always be there, particularly when you're about to go to another level in your business, when you're stepping out and about to do something different, something outside of your comfort zone. Oh, you better believe those thoughts are there. Stephen Furtick has a really great book that's called Crash That Chatterbox. It's a phenomenal book. I read it probably maybe not 10 years ago, but it's somewhere between 5 and 10 years ago. It's a beautiful book. It's a phenomenal book. I definitely encourage you to get it. But there's so many things that happen up here that affect how we show up in our business that affect the progression of our business. And so why isn't it talked about? Well, we're going to talk about it. Okay. We're going to talk about it. So things like that, things like time management, which sometimes is talked about, in business and business development, time management, emotional management. Not oftentimes is that talked about. We're talking about that. 2024. Oh yeah. We're diving into emotional management. If you're not able to manage your emotions, OMG. You will emotionally be on a roller coaster, and your business will be on a roller coaster. Your business revenue will be on a roller coaster, and that's not good for anybody. Okay. Money management. I find that people tiptoe around money management, but the reality of it is, if you're building a business, if you're scaling a business, you better know how to manage your money. Okay. Because also the thing of it is, it's not even all about what you make. It's about what you keep. And so I already have one particular person lined up to really have an in-depth discussion on how we as entrepreneurs, particularly even as nursepreneurs, should be managing our finances, our business revenue. So love that. We're going to be talking about multi-six-figure habits, multi-six-figure thoughts, because the habits, the thoughts, the mindset, the systems, the content, all of these things, they're different at this level. Okay. And I know that many of you that are listening are new, and that's perfectly fine. But guess what? Jump in. It's still going to be applicable. And in fact, you'll be ahead of the game. Yay you. All right. And so 6-figure habits, 6-figure thoughts, 6-figure routines, 6-figure content, 6-figure systems. And I say 6 figures, even multi-6 figures, embodiment. What is absolutely essential for you to embody as you are launching and scaling your business? Okay. Again, maybe sometimes it's talked about, but we're going there. We are going there in 2024. The role that you play specifically as the CEO of your business, right? You've not had to play that role before. So what does it look like? What do you do? What's required? What does it entail? Right? We'll be unpacking all of that in this upcoming year. Quantum healing, one of the things that I am just obsessed with, that I don't think we've talked about that at all this entire year. So quantum healing, really understanding your divinity. Yeah, another thing that I'm super passionate about that really hasn't been explored here on this podcast. So understanding your divinity and understanding your role in the co-creation of all of this, right? We talked about money mindset. You want to know a huge topic that I have never heard breached before on a podcast specifically, and it's crazy. Because this is huge for women, yes, but specifically, this is so pervasive in healthcare. And as you're transitioning from a nurse to a nursepreneur, holistic health coach, holistic nurse coach, holistic practitioner, whatever the case may be, one thing that runs deep with a lot of us is money shame. Money shame, the shame around charging for your services. You guys, if we don't talk about that, we're fighting an uphill battle. We are fighting an uphill battle. And all of these things have just really come to light, really over this last year, as I've been working with my clients, and it's been coming up. I'm like, no, we have to address this, right? And so money shame, our relationship with money. How often do we even talk about that? Our relationship with money, our receivership. Because again, in business, if you're not able to receive, you're probably going to struggle in business a bit. Okay. And so we're going to be unpacking all of this, you guys, big topics, huge topics that often go unaddressed. We're addressing them. We're undressing them. No, we're not undressing them. We're addressing them. We're addressing them in 2024. So we're going to go deeper this year. And so as we are, again, bringing this year to a close, what we have, I don't know how many days. This is the last Thursday of the year. So I think we have 400 or 500 days, something like that. I have 2 questions that I want to share with you and that I want you to reflect on. The first question is, what will you give your attention to in 2024? What will you give your attention to in 2024? Because we know what we give our attention to expands. Okay. And so what will you give your attention to in 2024? And I get it again as multi-passionate entrepreneurs, there are lots of things, but I want you to really pick the top 1, 2, maybe 3 things that you're going to really focus in on. And then identify the ones that, you want to put some attention towards that, but maybe they need to be in the incubator a little bit longer. Maybe they need a little bit more time to be more fully developed or more developed. Maybe they aren't pressing. So maybe it's Q3, Q4 of the year. Whereas, the 1 or 2 things or 3 things are like, okay, this is what we're doing for 2024. If I don't get anything done, I'm doing this. Maybe it is launching your business. Maybe it's pivoting in your business, right? Perhaps that's it. Whatever it is, that's the question that I want you to ponder over these next couple of days before we enter into 2024. What will you give your attention to in 2024? And most importantly, is it in alignment with your heart's desires? And the reason why I bring this up is because I see this so often. I see people creating businesses because they think that's what they're supposed to do. They want to make more money. And they heard that this is, this air quotes is what I should be doing. But it's not even in alignment with your heart's desires. So like, what are we doing? So bring it back to, is it in alignment with your heart's desire and is it in alignment with where God is calling you to in this season? That's important. So that's the first question. The second question is, what is it all for? Why? Why are we doing this? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you creating the business, launching the business, scaling the business? Why? For what reason? Right? And so for me, I am super clear that, the purpose of, and most of you know, many of you know that I have 2 businesses that I run parallelly, one holistic health coaching and consulting, and the other one business coaching for female clinicians. And so the thread that runs between the 2 unequivocally is, I know I was put on this earth to help elevate. I know I was put on this earth to help expand, not just the mindset of people, but to expand how we show up in the world, right? If we don't have our health, we can't fully show up as all that we're created to be. If, and that's on the holistic health side, we're talking about creating a business. It's all about expanding. It's all about elevating to the next level, really tapping into our true potential. And I'm super clear that that's what I'm here to assist with. So I'm super excited about that. Alrighty, my friends, I think that brings this final episode of 2023 to a close. I do want to wish you a happy new year, a safe new year. I cannot wait to see what you guys, I can't wait to hear the answers to your questions. Here's the thing, before I actually bring this to an official post, I do want to just add this final reminder that if you have been contemplating joining the Prosperous Practitioner Program, that's our signature program. If you have been contemplating joining the Prosperous Practitioner Program, you have until the end of 2023, so whatever day that falls on, to take advantage of the current investment, the current pricing, right? So right now, the Process Practitioner Program's signature is $5K. VIP Process Practitioner Program is $10K. Okay. As of January 1, 2024, so just in a few days, we are adjusting the pricing to really bring it into alignment with the true value of the program. And so the pricing actually will double. The signature program will be $10K and the VIP Process Practitioner Program will be $20K. So I just want to remind you all of that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, of course. And I'm super excited about that. So if you loved this episode, feel free to connect with me on IG at Sharice Williams or on Facebook at Sharice W. And let me know how this episode landed for you. Okay. Also, when I tell you I absolutely love reading every single message that comes in, whether it's IG, whether it's Facebook. I love to read those messages, hear those messages. Sometimes you send me voice messages. I love receiving the stories, the feedback, the reflections, your reflections and how you're weaving these teachings and these episodes into your life and into your business. So continue to do that. And as always, I love you. I appreciate you. And I'm so grateful for you being here with me on this journey. And I'll see you next week for another transformative episode of the Sharice Williams Show. Happy New Year! Happy 2024. Bye for now.